Yesterday, we heard about Tanni Grey Thompson, a former wheelchair racer and a Paralympic medalist. She says that she feels fortunate that sport has become a part of her life. Though she is disabled, she never let her disability prevent her from achieving her career and her dreams. Sport gave her a chance to build her physical and emotional strength, including belief in herself, and to learn valuable skills like teamwork, discipline, and leadership. She also mentions about the support that she received from her parents and teachers. She won 16 medals over 5 Paralympic Games. She feels extremely proud to be referred to as a role model for other people with disabilities and is very happy that her achievement might help others to overcome challenges. She also spoke about the country Jordan. When she went to Jordan, she realized that although sport is very popular in Jordan, the schools there did not give any importance for physical education. There were very few parks and playgrounds in cities and even fewer in villages. Children with disabilities and other marginalized children were generally discouraged from participating in sport and activities. And because many people still don't realize the importance of physical activity in the development of young people, and very little emphasis is put on making sport a part of the school curriculum. Let's continue reading. One of the things that really stands out from the trip was a visit to Surf Camp, one of Jordan's Palestinian refugee camps, with a population of over 20,000. The Surf Boys Elementary School sat within the camp and had more than 700 young boys between 4 and 16 years old. With funding from international inspiration to promote inclusiveness, weekly sports sessions were established and involved children with disabilities. One particular thing that stands out from her trip to the surf camp was a refugee camp which had over 20,000 people. It had 700 young boys between 4 and 16 years old. It received funds from international inspiration to promote inclusiveness. Weekly sports sessions were established and it involved children with disabilities. In one of the sessions, I met a boy called Moyet Mohammed Badran, who later took me to his home. Moyet used a wheelchair, and he told me about the sport sessions and PE activities that he had been able to take part in alongside his friends. He was so enthusiastic. I was impressed that something so simple was making such a difference in Moyet's life. So, in that particular camp, she met a boy named Moyet Mohammed Madran. He was disabled. He used a wheelchair. He told her about the sport sessions and physical educational activities that he had been able to take part in alongside with his friends. He looked very enthusiastic about it. Tanni was impressed by it. Let's move to the second paragraph. On the second day of my visit, I had a chance to speak to some Jordanian Paralympians, and we shared stories about how sport had changed our lives. They reinforced what I have long believed, that through sport, people can find the determination to attempt and achieve amazing feats. Simple things such as including children with disabilities in PE lessons or giving young people the training and skills to obtain employment are really transforming lives in this country and elsewhere. On the second day, Tanni had a chance to speak to some Jordanian Paralympians who shared their stories with her. They too believed that through sport, people can find the determination to attempt achieve amazing feats. Simple things like including children with disabilities or giving young people the training and skills to obtain employment are really transforming the lives of the people in the country. Let's move to the third paragraph. A number of schools in Turkey hold or are planning Paralympic school days, as part of which children without disabilities are given the chance to move around in wheelchairs and play sports blindfolded and thus develop empathy and engage in recreation alongside peers with disabilities. In India and Indonesia, Special Olympics events address negative perceptions towards intellectual disability. This vital work challenges stereotypes and changes attitudes, focusing on what children with disabilities can achieve rather than what they can't. Despite these steps, children with disabilities remain among the most disadvantaged in the world. Every Olympic year presents an opportunity to further the inclusion of children with disabilities. The baton now passes to Rio de Janeiro as the next Olympic host to continue the fight to include children of all abilities in the practice of sport. We have the word meanings here. A feat is an achievement that requires great courage or strength. When we transform something, we change it completely, usually for the better. Next word is empathy. When we have empathy for others, we understand and share their feelings. Stereotype is an unfair belief that all people in a particular group are the same. A baton is a stick that is passed from one runner to another in a relay race. Here, the meaning is figurative. It refers to the fact that the responsibility for further inclusion of children with disabilities now passes to Rio de Janeiro. Tanni tells that a number of schools in Turkey are planning Paralympic school days. Here, children without disabilities will be given chance to move on wheelchairs and play sports blindfolded so that they feel for others who are disabled and mix with them. Although these steps are taken, children with disabilities remain among the most disadvantaged in the world. Now it is the responsibility of the next Olympic host to continue the fight to include children of all abilities in the practice of sport.